you are in the first quarter. You know, you got to get your legs a little more under you on a couple of those shots. Give yourself a chance.
KJ Late Night, WEEI. Thank you so much for hanging out. As Jason Tatum talking about, it's getting tiring when you start playing 44 minutes a game, him and Jaylen Brown, but that's what happens when there's nobody else on the bench that's coming to call with some points. We'll talk more Celtics and their turnovers here shortly. Let's get to the text line, 8th at 37937. What you got?
So I had somebody come in to correct you when you were talking earlier when we were still on the topic of baseball about how it was a lockout and not a strike when you had mentioned it earlier.
Bozo, you know what I meant. Here's the thing. So when you're doing this in live time, everything is live. Your brain is moving live. Things are moving live. Producers in your ear, all these different things. You're saying things live. No one's going to be 100%. Ethan, I don't know if you watch like TV game shows, right? You know, like people have to guess something. Live. Right. Okay, so, but do you ever watch a TV game show and you're like, oh, man, how did they miss that? That's so easy. Because your ass is sitting at home, not with cameras in your face, not with a studio audience in front of you, not with producers running back and forth, not with you thinking about, like, how much money you can win. So it's one thing when it's, like, taped and sit here, because if you're going to get on me about, like, being between strike and lockout, and you knew what I meant, then it's just almost like, just stuff your face in a sandwich. Back to the Celtics. Who Game 6, the crowd's going to be loud. It's going to be absolutely crazy. But it could be getting crazy for the 10 that you know is never going to give you the time of the day but just going to accept your bought drinks. Why? Because I'm still trying to figure out who for the Celtics. If Tatum and Brown do not go for 30, 32 each, who's going to pick up the slack? You're saying, well, what about Al? And it's almost kind of like, maybe that crapshoot has run its course. Rob Williams is not an offensive matter, and you just be honest with yourself. Would you want Marcus Smart to, potentially take 20 shots and take the chance of what that looks like? Right? Derek White has disappeared. Grant Williams, less foul trouble this time. Game 4, like, it was like, rant. Like he's out of the game. Peyton Pritchard, I think, is still trying to get over some type of nervousness because I did see him start to actually take shots on the catch and shoot, even though they didn't fall. It still looked better than when he would try to dribble and then pass out of it. It's like, hey, you were in there to shoot. Shoot the ball, please. So, M.A., who I think is actually the NBA Coach of the Year because of the job that he's actually done from day one to present day. Better than Monty Williams, right? Monty Williams literally is coaching a team that went to the NBA Finals last year, this year. Like, that's kind of easy. But M.A. had a team that was losing to no names with guys on there, with Greg Monroe not even knowing his teammate's name, who was the leading scorer. December, November, Celtics to Game 6. Like, that's admirable. So, M.A., I've understood when he's gotten the texts. I've understood why he's gone after those to try and get a message across to his team about the urgency. Sometimes they've picked up on the message. Other times they have not. He went for that bag early in Game 5. Didn't work. So, M.A., what is the message for Game 6?
Well, feeling the message to the guys is to be confident going home, get your rest, and then let's get ready to bring it back here. And so for us, it's really about consistency. And that's the thing we're not having throughout a full game is a consistent effort, sustained effort, more so offensively than anything. And so that's the part where we got to have carryover from quarter to not only game to game, but even quarter to quarter, like we saw in the third, and then it doesn't happen in the fourth. So obviously we're all frustrated with tonight a little bit, but even prior, quarters and games. And so our message is take it one at a time. We've been here before and did it against Milwaukee, and let's bring it back out to the Bay.
I'm going to tell you a secret that I know about NBA players. It may have changed over time, but this is the absolute truth that was told to me that someone I'd become friends with over time, a guy named Baron Davis, who played in the league for some years. NBA players stay up late. So, damn it, listen to KJ tell you, Tatum and Brown, that you cannot do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need help. I know what's going to be coming all through these airwaves across Boston and greater New England, that it's you two's fault. But the truth of the matter is the team would not be here if it wasn't for you two. Keep that in mind. Your teammates probably have to figure out how to pick the two of you up. Both of them played 44 minutes in a 48-minute game. Yeah, I would expect to see more turnovers then, and it happens. But you play guys 44 minutes apiece because you're saying nobody else is stepping up. So everything you're going to hear, you're going to be lambasted across the coals. It's going to continue into tomorrow. It's going to lead into game day. Suck it all in and realize that it's on your teammates to pick it up for you. Now, Ethan, you're probably like, really, Baron Davis? How did that story happen? So I got to tell you a true story. So in the very beginning of my days on a music station, I was in Charlotte. So Baron Davis was a rookie. I remember because he couldn't drink. So I used to kind of hang with like Baron Davis, Derek Coleman, Eldris Ricasner. There was kind of like this, I don't want to say seedy, but it was like interesting things would happen in the folklore of things. And Anthony Mason would occasionally hang out with them, the late Anthony Mason. Big dude. So I used to do this running joke about Anthony Mason, about his eyes. They were big as clocks. That if Anthony Mason looked to the left, it was 3 o'clock, or it could be 9 o'clock, and that's how you could pick up on his offense. I was just really like kind of joking and laying into him. Until one night, Baron says to me, he's just like, hey, man, we're all staying up late playing cards, and we'd just be laughing at Mace. And I'm thinking, Anthony Mason is going to kill me. But luckily, there was enough bright lights around. It never happened. And he just stepped to me one day. He said, you're a real funny guy. I was like, thanks. And I'm not short. So NBA players stay up late and hear what's being said about them. It's been going on for years. So Tatum and Brown, you're playing 44 minutes because nobody's giving you anything else. And that's tough. And someone's got to show up with something in Game 6, or the exit interviews are next week, boys. Here's Jaylen Brown saying this is what he thinks needs to happen in Game 6 for the Celtics.
I will watch it and learn from it and see where we could have been better, stronger with the basketball, more aggressive. I think they did some things to kind of take us out of our spots. We'll watch it and see where those adjustments need to be made. But overall, physicality got to be better from the jump. You know, we was looking around expecting somebody to bail us out. You just got to, be stronger, more physical, more dominant, get to the paint, and make somebody stop you. And I know we're capable of it. We just got to do it.
KJ, late night here on WEEI. Thank you so much for hanging out. 617-779-7937. Text line 37937. Let's go to Hadley. He thinks that you have somebody in mind who may need to step up for the Celtics in Game 6?
I think the offense needs to step up. Like, our offense is really stagnant. You watch Golden State run offense, they're able to get really good looks on a regular basis without one guy taking 5, 6, 7 dribbles. Our offense is literally a down screen, a back screen, or a flare screen, and then one-on-one, and then when there's a double team, you get Jason Tatum or Brown potentially kicking out. Yep. Like, it's frustrating listening to them talk in the post game as though like it's some sort of complicated issue to fix. It's like, no, dude, you use 10 dribbles to score and everybody's standing around. It's the design of the offense, not guys not showing up. Go back and look at the shot distribution of guys who played in the game yesterday and even Game 5. Al Horford took 6 shots.
Yeah.
Like, what's he supposed to do with 6 shots?
Well, I've always wondered why you're not effectively using Al on the block, right? If Tatum and Brown want to do their thing from the outside, then where's the inside presence that's going to force them to say...
Al Horford can't post you up, my man. He can't post you up. He has no post game. He never has. He can't post anybody up.
Well, it's not so much that you're saying we want to bang you on the block, but it's like if you feed him down low against a team that's undersized, what do you do if you're the undersized team? All Al has to do is put it up against the glass 2 or 3 times, and now it's a game adjustment that the Warriors have to think about making.
Nah, man. Klay Thompson is successfully guarding him one-on-one down low. This has been the case for years with Al Horford. He can't score down low. Their best shot near the rim is a lob to Robert Williams, and guess what? Rob can't really jump right now.
No,
so if they're going to get something at the rim, it has to come from, like, action in their offense, getting back cuts. But we don't move. Our offense is super basic, and we're lucky to have gotten this far.
Hadley, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you calling late night. Yeah, I mean, you got to try something, even if it's something you've never done. You know, because the biggest thing for me in this series, especially over the last 2 games, it's embarrassing that the Celtics are getting out-rebounded by the Lilliputian Warriors. Like you're literally getting out-rebounded by guys who are easily 3 and 4 inches shorter than everybody else. They out-rebounded Golden State for the first time the other night, but did that really matter? When you got Andrew Wiggins grabbing 12 rebounds. And Al Horford, let's just call Al Horford, who is your bigger guy, 8 rebounds. Robert Williams, 5 rebounds. So their 13 rebounds is 1 more. Williams and Horford's 13 total rebounds is 1 more. Well, it's the same amount as Robert Williams. I'm sorry, 17. Horford had 10. Horford had 9. Williams 8. Wiggins 13. That's ridiculous. And it was like a 13-point rebound difference in the previous game. I think ultimately the reason why Andrew Wiggins is a problem is because is Tatum going to turn around and say, I'm going to be his primary defender? It isn't Al. It's not Al. You know, Rob Williams, I mean, God bless him, but he's really running out there with 1 leg. You know, Rob Williams is really good for about maybe 15 solid minutes before you start seeing things hurt or he gets nicked or maybe a fall that happens that he comes up hobbling. He played 30 last night. So again, when your starters are eating up minutes the way they are, it just shows that, you know, MA has no confidence right now in his bench production. Derek White, 1 point in 21 minutes. Peyton Pritchard, none in 5. I guess he just got the yank, just got pull him out. Grant Williams, 16 minutes, 3 points. 3 rebounds. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out what options the Celtics really have. Let's go to Daniel in Brighton, and he's sick of seeing all the one-on-one basketball. Daniel, you're on WEEI late night. Thanks for the call.
Hi. I was just thinking that the reason why the Celtics, when they struggle, is because they just do too much iso ball. I don't know if you guys thought the same thing. They don't really play like a team. When Tatum gets double teamed, they don't really have like sets like ready for him, and then that's when they end up turning the ball over. I want to know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's where the league is for some players, right? If you say, well, who are the faces for some of these younger players where not even Steph is much. It's hard to think that Steph is 34 now. But you're like, okay, like a Durant or Kyrie or some of these, or James Harden. These guys all depend on the ball being ball dominant. Daniel, thanks for the call. I'll get to your question. Yeah, they're all ball dominant, and that's kind of the way a lot of players think in the league. Now, it doesn't mean it's winning basketball, but we are in an era of the individual ball dominant player who feels like everything should run through them and possibly even bringing the ball up the court, that it's everybody else's job to kind of make things happen for him. Even when you see, like, it makes no sense to me that when Tatum ends up with Steph Curry on a switch, that he's having any issues taking Steph Curry to the basket. Like, why? Why? So I can't say other than this is kind of where the game exists, but it doesn't win you championships, right? It doesn't, like last year when, Giannis, but he still even had Middleton, so he's not an iso ball guy. He may come from the top of the key, but he will dish. he doesn't need to start with the ball in his hand. Some of these players now, they almost demand that the offense has to start with the ball in their hand. And the stagnation comes because it's like, damn, you've had the ball since the shot clock went from 24 to 23, and now it's down to 8. Like, what are you doing? It's going to freeze people. All right, 617-779-7937, text line 37937, KJ Late Night. Let's go to Steve in Miami. Says, it's something more fundamentally wrong with the Celtics. Steve, go ahead. Steve, you're on WEEI.
I got him on the phone. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no worries. I'm bringing out the food to Steve before the food's even ready. Like, I don't want him to have a raw deal on the plate. But look, with the ISO ball that you're seeing, again, when you're trying to now suddenly create offense with 6-7 seconds left on the shot clock, there's really only one answer, is you've got to put the ball in the air, or by time you're able to dish it out, it's being dished to someone who's the person who shouldn't be taking a shot from that far, which says you're starting out your offense from that far, too far out. And that's what's been happening. And so, look, if there was like another ISO ball person or another prolific scorer that was coming off the bench, it wouldn't seem as bad because you would have more players who would know their roles, right? They're all backups, so they would know they would have to be stronger in what they're asked to come and back up and do. But if you're Marcus Smart and you want to be more of a point guard, but yet you're in there to defend more so than you are to score, we'd rather see you distribute than to try and take shots. But if they're going to leave you open, that you got to take the shot. All right, Steve, in Miami, you ready to go?
Yep. How are you today?
Good, Steve. Thanks for the call, man. So you think it's something more fundamentally wrong with the Celtics? What's that?
Well, I mean, everybody's seen it. Free throws. The word free is there, but they're throwing it like it's not free. I mean, Tatum, and I'm not trying to get on Tatum's case, but he missed 2 straight when he got fouled in the first half, 2 straight in the second half. In Game 5, there was a technical against Steve Kerr. He was taking the shot. He missed it. They're putting themselves, not just because of the turnovers, but missed free throws. And that's around 5-6 points right there that the game would have been so much closer, and who knows what happens. Yeah. But Derek White, you said he got 1 point. Yeah, because he missed 1 free throw too.
Yeah, missed all of his. Yep.
They're having too many misses when they should be. Let's put it this way. What good is it getting the other team in foul trouble if you're not going to make the free throws?
That's true. The bonus is supposed to be a bonus opportunity to get points. Steve, thanks for the call. Yeah, Celtics missed 10 free throws. They missed a third of their 3 free throws. So you imagine say, okay, Celtics, get up here and take 3 free throws every time you come up here, and they always are missing 1 every single time. That's literally what happened. 21 for 30. You left 10 points at the free throw line. So you say, okay, while nothing is perfect, including free throw shooting, let's say Golden State shot 87%, so they missed 2 of their free throws. So if you said if the Celtics made 87% of their free throws, you're talking about 27 for 31. So that's 6 points. And so now you're down 2 possessions. 4.
Looking at a much different end to the game.
Yeah.
Even if it's the same result, but they're at least playing it differently.
Yeah, if they miss 3 of their free throws, that's 7 more points, and now you're looking at a 104, 101 game, and now it's a 1-possession game. Just that, and I mean, because look, the free throws are not going to get any better really for Golden State. They were 13 for 15, so someone's missed 1. Wiggins missed 1, Curry missed 1. There you go. But my goodness, that's what I'm saying about the Celtics, right? Is if we have to discuss free throws, Tatum 2 for 6, Derek White 1 for 2 in a key moment there. 8 for 10, 3 for 4. These are free points. I mean, obviously that's not telling you anything new. But my goodness. I've said with this Celtics team is because they're not an offensive dynamic team, this is not a team that's always going to give you 115 every game, that they have to be precise in what they do. and the precision isn't there. It isn't there. Game 1 was one of those where you said, you know what? This is a team that shows how they can step up and do what they do best, and they did it. I give them a lot of credit for really stifling Steph Curry. But when you do that, you still have to be precise at what you do, which is defend and get the easiest of buckets that you can get. And as some would say, I would say a layup is easier than a free throw. But again, no one's defending you. No one's swatting at you. You know, there's a little bit of crowd noise, but that's everywhere. And if you're missing a third of your free throws and you went to the free throw line twice as many times as your opponent, you know, that's just one additional avenue along with the turnovers. In fact, let's get that cut from Jason Tatum regarding the turnovers. The turnovers were a bigger indictment in this game than it was in the previous game, even though it felt like they were still as bad, because in game 4, actually the Celtics had less turnovers than the Warriors. It's just that the turnovers seemed to come at the wrong time.
I got it for you. I'm sorry about that. I loaded up the wrong clip.
No worries. It happens.
I got it for you now.
No worries. I'll call again for it. Like, we'll just pretend like, you know, that never happened. So this past game, right? It was like 18-7 in terms of turnover. So it's like, okay, and I think the Warriors had 9 steals. The Celtics had 2 steals. So when they're getting it done defensively and your MO is getting it done defensively, that's like another major avenue that's just calling for loss. So you lose the turnover battle, but yet you're the best defending team in the league. Okay, that's one recipe in this big bowl of loss. Then you're missing a third of all your free throws, and you've taken twice as many free throws as your opponent, and you've left 10 points on the line and losing by 11. You lose by 10. So literally, and not even saying if you were perfect, but if you made 8 of those 10 free throws at 80%, or 9 of 10 of those free throws at an additional 90%, you're now in a one-possession game where you can go back to doing what you hadn't done very well, but still have a chance to do, which is defend. But it's the turnovers. When you give up possessions, that's not precision at all. And here's Jason Tatum talking about those turnovers.
We got to be better. You know, we hard to beat when we don't turn the ball over, and clearly we're easy to beat when we do turn the ball over.
Oh, wow. That's not deep right there.
Anybody's
response. Right. Anybody is hard to beat when they don't turn the ball over. Many people are easy to beat when they turn the ball over a lot. That file that underwater is wet, fire is hot. Sun is far away. You know, when the sun is 93 million miles away, you can't really say it's close.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. But you have to know.
And this goes back to what
the callers have mentioned. Steve in Miami, and Hadley
had
also mentioned as well is
when you start going into this stagnant
offense,
and you've been holding on to the ball pretty much since the shot clock dropped 1 second. There are more chances for error because the ball is not moving. And when the ball doesn't move, it gets turned over.
Look at James Harden. Look at James Harden. That ball doesn't move, and he turns the ball over. Well, imagine when you're doing that when everybody on the Warriors know that, okay, the primary run-through is going to be Tatum on this. And the second person he's going to look for is Jaylen Brown. So if we make sure we just keep ourselves locked to Jaylen Brown and force Tatum into a bunch of action that's a big mess, either turn the ball over, or he's going to kick out to the wrong person, or he kicks out to the person, the person doesn't hit the shot. The Warriors have the Celtics figured out now. It just has to be a very grimy, dirty, physical, maybe a little in your face, maybe a couple of hard fouls to let them know that finesse ball is not going to happen for Game 6. Celtics have to figure out, do they just want to say, well, you know, we gave it our all? Or do you want to leave blood on the floor? Not literally. But you get what I'm saying.
Right, like this
is your last game at home, even if you win the championship. How are you going to perform? You know, Ethan, when I got into this industry, my very first boss said, if you want to be effective, imagine if Jesus Christ was standing in the control room with you, how would you respond? At first I was thinking, well, should I be a bit scared because I don't expect Jesus Christ to literally be in the studio with me? He said, no, the idea is you should do it with so much enthusiasm to know that you left it all on the mic, or in this case, on the floor, to know that you showed the people who support you that you gave everything in that last game, knowing that anything could potentially happen in the seventh game.